I'm going to be telling the very first episode of me telling some horror stories. So the first one, it was a lonely night at 9 o'clock in the night, all dark with no stars. I had a ring in my pizzeria. I'm not the boss. It's just me and the boss. I had a ring, so I picked it up. There was complete silence. So I dropped it down. So I heard it again, ring ring, and then I picked up again, and I heard an old woman screaming across the room, ordering a spicy pepperoni pizza with olives in it. So I asked my boss, we have a delivery. I really didn't want to do anymore. I had 10 deliveries in one day, so yeah. So once I got to the address, the house was dark. I hope my boss the person didn't give me the wrong address. So I went to the house. I knocked. There was no one answered. And then at the door I saw an old woman just had a big smile across her face. I started to freak out. I took one step back, and then she had a bigger one. So I just turned around, ran away. So I called my boss and said what was the strange. I said about the strange things that was happening. The lady was just staring at my car, and when I moved, she was staring at the car. She was staring at the place where my car was. So this is the next story. I was sleeping in a forest, probably the most homeless place ever. And then my mum, my brother heard, my sister heard, heard some footsteps on the floor. So she asked my mum. I was sleeping on the sofa. She asked my mum. She looked downstairs and looked at me. She thought that my sister was lying until she saw a big shadow at the front of the door. She opened it and said, "What the hell are you doing here?" And then the man said, "I'm going to clean your front door. You hired me, remember?" So my mum said, "I never hired you." And then but my mum let him do it anyways. He got the Hoover from his car. My mum saw 5 other men in the car. She was quite freaked out, so she opened the door again, and she said, "Get out, I don't want you." And then 2 months later, she heard 2 gunshots, but behind her garden, and she saw some blood spitting out at her window. She saw 2 blobs of blood on her window. So yeah, that is the end of the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Just kidding. One more story. So let me think of one. So it was 12 o'clock in the night, and then a man was coming upstairs, and he's in the living room, okay? Let me restart the story. So we're in a homeless place we're in a place in the forest, okay? And then we're really poor. We didn't even have 1 pence. I think we did, but 2 pence at least. And then we couldn't afford a house that was ginormous like the one we have here. I'll be giving a tour. This is my auntie's house. So yeah. What was we? Oh, okay. When the several children were downstairs. Wait, no. There was only 2 rooms. Okay, 2 bedrooms. Since the mum and dad didn't like each other, they went in separate rooms, and then the kids need to sit in the living room. And then suddenly, my sister was on the sofa, and then she woke up because of the creaking, like rocking chair going back and forward. She was really creeped out. She yelled. I came down and said, "What was it?" And then she saw the rocking chair moving even more with more power, and she saw one shadow at the front of the door and the back of the door. She was very freaked out. Okay, and then she saw several men hooking up onto their window. They pulled it out and smashed it. Okay, they had gunshots everywhere. All the survivors were the killers. The killers were the only survivors. So if you enjoyed, bye.